Hi, my name's Ken Adler, and I'm the Green Party candidate for the United States House of Representatives in District 1 of Arkansas. I'd like to take just a minute to make a brief statement about war. I want to begin with a poem that I wrote last year. It's called Patriots. Rich politicians never send their own children to a war. It's the poor, instead, who sign to line up in the combat zone, rush to re-enlist and push to get ahead. Return and live the American dream, our charismatic leaders smile and say, behind their patriotic smoke-screen scheme, and perhaps it's always been that way. Our sons and daughters fighting overseas, at home their families bend but do not break, with guns and slaughter spreading our disease, risk limb and life, and all for country's sake. Then wing back in boxes wrapped for Christmas, flag-draped gifts as only angels witness. I think that pretty much sums up my position on war. I think the only people who win in any war are those who profit by supplying it. Even if your objective is achieved, the cost is the minds and bodies and lives of your younger generation, and that's a cost that I think is far too great for America. I believe it's time for us to get out of the business, and I do mean business, of empire building wrapped in the bunting of spreading democracy. I believe that we should begin the immediate withdrawal of our troops from Iraq and Afghanistan, and when elected, I will support efforts to make significant cuts in military spending. Currently, Congressman Frank and Congressman Paul are making an effort to cut back on military spending, close bases in places like Japan, Germany, Italy, Spain, and Great Britain, where we're no longer needed and, quite frankly, in some cases are no longer wanted. And yet we maintain these bases and spend billions and billions of dollars abroad that could be better used here in our own country, repairing a failing infrastructure, supplying universal health care, and personally I would like to see a rebuilding of the American passenger rail system. 100 years ago we had one of the greatest railway systems in the world. Now you'd have a better chance of catching a rocket to the next habitable planet than you would of being able to get a reasonably priced, reasonably timed trip from coast to coast by train. I think that we could power it by hydroelectric power, which would also require building of dams and power stations and methods of conducting the electricity from one place to another. All of those things would help to rebuild the economy, create jobs, and get things moving literally and figuratively again in this country. The main thing, though, is that I don't believe in war. Sometimes it's necessary to fight to defend yourself, and I do believe in a strong defense. I'm a military veteran. I served in the Navy and was stationed overseas from 1978 until 79. I served in the Indian Ocean just post-Vietnam era, and things were still a little tense with the Russians, and there may have been a reason that we needed to be out there to provide a presence. But now we have aircraft carriers and their support fleets and things that can put us wherever we need to be very rapidly, if necessary, and with all the power that we need to control the situation. So we can close these bases that were built during a time shortly after World War II and during the Cold War, where the philosophy was and the need were completely different. It's time to bring all those people and those resources back to the United States and put things to work here, rebuilding the country inside and making life better for us here at home. Maintaining a strong defense, being prepared in case we are attacked, but not being the aggressors, and not trying to spread our particular form of government to places where they aren't interested in our form of government, never have been, and probably never will be. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate your attention, and I hope that you'll come out and vote for me in November. And vote for other Green Party candidates. Let's get some people in there that are thinking a little outside the box and not just playing up to their party line and answering to the big businesses and corporations here in America.